Hello, dear friends. My name is Tessa Fife, and on this video, I want to deal with day 7 of 7 in my series of this amazing book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. So I've been doing a chapter sort of per day and then doing a video about it. So on this video, I'm going to deal with the last, number 7, which is the law of Dharma, or purpose in life. And it's very exciting. I picked up this chapter quite late today, but I promised that I would do a video as I read the chapter, so that's why I'm doing such a late video, but it's great. This chapter has been amazing, and I think I could just stay and rest in this chapter and go to sleep in it because it's been that good. Okay, let's dive straight in. What is the law of Dharma? What is the law of purpose in life? So this book is by Dr. Deepak Chopra, and it's just got me so excited. Anyway, so let's dive in. Basically, the law of Dharma, as described by Deepak Chopra, he says that everyone has a purpose in life, yeah? And everyone has a unique gift or a special talent to give to others. Everyone, right? Then when you discover your unique talent and when you blend it with how to give service to other people, that's when we reach the ultimate goal of all goals, which is we get to a point where we can lift up our spirits and, into a sort of ecstasy because you're just so happy in your life and in what you're doing, okay? I have to say again, I've not read anything on the law of purpose in life in this way before. So this chapter, even though it was probably the shortest chapter, I found really, really exciting, and I'm taking it away to do some work on myself in it, yeah? He says that, okay, it's amazing, so just bear with me. He says that basically, human beings we have divinity within us. And he says human beings have taken manifestation into a physical form so that they can fulfill this divine purpose that we all have within ourselves. That in itself is like, that's huge, right? And he says, according to this law, you have a unique talent and you have a unique way of expressing that talent. So basically, there is something that you can do better than anyone else in the whole world. There is something that you can do better than anyone else in the whole world. Yeah? And for every unique talent and for every unique expression of that talent, there are also unique needs, okay? And when you match those needs with the expression, the way that you express your talent, and that, he says, is what creates affluence flowing into your life. Expressing your talents to fulfill needs creates unlimited wealth, unlimited abundance in your life. It's huge, isn't it? I'll say that once more. Expressing your talents to fulfill needs, the needs of others, creates unlimited wealth and unlimited abundance in your life. It's amazing. And get this, he then starts to share a little bit about how he raised his children. And he said that right from when his children were little, he used to teach them from when they were about 4 years old. He would teach them how to spend their time focusing on what their unique talents were and how they can use those talents to serve humanity. He taught them how to meditate, he said, from age 4. And he asked them to focus. He said, you know, I don't want you to focus on getting good grades at school. You know, don't worry about how are you going to make a living. I will provide for you if you can't provide for yourself. But what I want you to focus on is how can you serve humanity with your unique talents? What are your unique talents and how can you use them to serve humanity? And he says, incidentally, even though they were focusing on something completely different, they did get fantastic grades and they did get into all the good schools, and you know, they are living a life of abundance. I thought that was quite interesting. So when you focus on what you are here to give in life, then he says that is the law of Dharma, or the law of purpose in life. Hi Zoe, you're a night owl like me. I'll give you a wave. Hi James, nice to see you. I'll give you a wave. I'm reading the last chapter of this amazing book and it's just blowing my mind. And this is the law of Dharma, or the law of purpose in life. And this is by Deepak Chopra. So he's saying, okay, what are the 3 main components of bringing this law of purpose in life into your life? And he said, firstly, you have to discover your true self. Yeah, you have to discover your true self, and you have to find that out on your own. And he says that our true selves are spiritual. And this, again, what he said, really, it was so deep for me and it reverberated and I was like, what? So he says, we're not human beings that occasionally have spiritual experiences. He says it's the other way round, that actually we are spiritual beings that occasionally have human experiences. So he is saying that our whole existence is spirit. We are spiritual beings, but we are here in the world manifested in this human form. So our natural existence is as a spiritual being. Our natural existence is energy and light and information. Wow, it's really raining. So I'm reading this and I'm like, what? Anyway, so he says, each of us is here to discover our spiritual self, discover our higher self. That's the first bit of bringing in the law of purpose into your life. He says, you have to find out in yourself that there is, you know, that divine presence within you that wants to come out, and you have to learn how to express it. Really deep. Okay, it's such a short chapter, so we're kind of at the end now. The second component of the law of Dharma is to learn how to express your unique talents, yeah? So every human being has a unique talent, and everyone has a unique way of expressing that talent. So basically, there's one thing that you can do, and there's one way of doing it, and that way is better than anyone else in the whole world, on the entire planet. Isn't that exciting? And that thing that you do, or the way you express it, no one else can do it. That is just your thing. That is just your talent. And he says when you spend time discovering that, an idea, to give you an idea that you may have found that thing already, it's when you do it, you lose track of time completely. And, you know, you're just really loving it. That's a clue that you've probably discovered it. But he did say that, you know, sometimes people have more than one unique talent. You might have many unique talents. But the expression of that talent is what takes you into, he calls it timeless awareness. I don't know where that little bit of sound came from. This is how I picture it in my head. It's like, that is what takes you into that place where time is passing, you're enjoying yourself, you're doing it, you're in the flow. That is your thing. Nobody else can express that like you do. And then he said the third thing, so the first thing is discovering your real self, your spiritual self. The second thing is discovering that unique talent, or that unique expression of a talent that only you can do on the whole planet. And then the third thing is how you can serve humanity. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Someone gave me a heart there. I'm not sure who. Thank you very much. The third thing is service to humanity. So you ask yourself, how can I help? Hi, Johan. Nice to see you. How can I help? Yeah, this is what we're asking ourselves. How can I help all those that I come into contact with? Okay. And so you're combining that question with your unique talent. He then says, if you can align that thing you do that no one else can do, or that thing you do and the way you express it is a way that no one else can do, and you're channeling your spirit, your real self, your spiritual being, and you're using all of that stuff to serve humanity, to help, then he's like, whoa, there is no way, and he says no way, that's not my words. He says there is no way that you will not have access to unlimited abundance, because this is the real way that abundance comes into your life. It's huge, right? And he says it's not temporary, this is permanent, because you're using your unique talent, your way of expressing it, and putting it into service for others and dedicating it to your fellow human beings by asking that question, how can I help? And that is it. It's like you're just opening the floodgates of abundance coming into you. And so he says, look, there are two questions. There's one question, what's in it for me? And then what's in it for me? Then the other question is, how can I help? And he says, when you ask the question, what's in it for me? You're just serving the ego. And the ego, in case you're wondering, is not good. Okay, we don't want to serve the ego. We want to kind of crush the ego till it's like this size. So what's in it for me is serving the ego. How can I help? Aha. Now that's the question. So he says, automatically that's bringing you into the domain of the spirit, which is good. Yeah. So yeah, really, really huge. And he says, you know, he talked about meditation in the very first spiritual law of success, and how that opens you up to this wonderful field of infinite possibilities in the world. And he says, you know, normally meditation is a great way to get into your real self, to start discovering your spiritual being. But he said, just asking that question, how can I help? That outward question really straight away takes you into your spirit. Johan saying you'll fully agree. Ah, Johan, do you know this book? I'd love to hear what you think, yeah? I mean, it's huge. It's huge. Discovering the purpose and wanting to serve others. And he says, do those 3 things, and then you are maximizing the law of Dharma into your life, okay? So then at the end, he just breaks it down into those 3 things, because that's what he does at the end of every chapter. He gives you 3 pointers that you can go away and do and bring this law into your life. So the first thing is, I'm going to seek my higher self, yeah? Johan says, I know, but didn't read so far. Ah, okay. Honestly, it's good, and it's quite a thin book. It's not very big. So the first commitment, I'm going to seek my higher self, which is beyond my ego. Yeah, we want to get above the ego, and I'm going to seek that through spiritual practice, through meditation, through asking the question, how can I help? So that's your first commitment. Your second commitment, you discover your unique talents. Find your unique talents. Enjoy yourself, because he says the process of enjoying yourself helps you to connect into that timeless awareness, into that flow, okay? So you've got to have fun with it. When you have fun with it, with your talents, then he says you get into a state of bliss. And that's a beautiful place to be. That's where we all want to be, because we want to have more happiness in our lives. And then the third and final commitment, I'm going to ask myself, how am I best suited to serve humanity? I'm going to answer that question and then put it into practice. Yeah, I'm going to use my unique talents to serve the needs of my fellow human beings. And I will match those needs to my desire to help and serve others. So there we go. We've all got some homework to do. So basically, we've got to sit down and make a list of answers to these questions. So I love this question. Ask yourself, if money was no option, yeah? If money was no concern, you had all the money, all the time in the world, what would you do? That's a great question, isn't it? We could be up all night talking about this. Put the kettle on. No, I'm joking. I'm going to finish up in a minute. But yeah, Johan saying ego kills abundance for sure. Absolutely, right? So ego, we don't want that. We want to go deeper to our true selves, our spirit. So if money was no concern, you had all the time, all the money in the world, what would you do? And he says, sit down and answer that question. If, this is where it gets interesting, if the answer is actually you would be doing what you're doing now, then you're probably already in the law of Dharma, in the law of purpose in life, yeah? You may already be there because of the passion that you have. You already have a passion for what you do, expressing your unique talents. Maybe you're doing part of what you would be doing if you won the lottery tomorrow. Maybe there's still things you're doing now that gives you that passion. Maybe it's not everything. Answer those questions and see where it leads you. He then says the second question is, how am I best suited to serve humanity? And then whatever the answer to that question is, put it into practice. So those 2 things. If money was no object, time and money was no problem, what would you do? And then the second question is, how am I best suited to serve humanity? And then whatever the answers are for those 2, put them into practice. Amazing. And then, just a couple of closing comments on the last chapter. He says, discover your divinity, find your unique talent, serve humanity with it, and you can generate all the wealth and abundance that you want. Isn't that amazing? I tell you, this book has just blown my mind. I feel different. I want to live differently. I'm thinking differently. It's really very exciting. And I have to say, I didn't know I was going to feel this way when I decided to start this challenge. I just thought, if I'm making a video as I go along, gosh, it's a thunderstorm. It's just going to help to, it's just going to help to keep me on point, you know, because I would be accountable to you because I said I would do a video, but I've gotten so much more than I bargained for. Anyway, so there we go, the 7th spiritual law of success, the law of Dharma or purpose in life by Deepak Chopra. So I'm going to call it a night there, but what I will do is tomorrow there's a little tiny section which is called summary and conclusion, and I'm going to read that, but then also just have a little think about some of my learning points over the last 7-8 days. I've been doing these videos, 9 days. I didn't do them at the weekend, and share them with you tomorrow. And yeah, really exciting. I've done lots of highlighting and I've got lots of notes to make, and I also am going to go away and do a list of what I think are my unique talents or my unique way of expressing them, and how I can best serve humanity, and focus on that. It makes you feel good. Ah, all right, all my lovely night owls. My name is Tessa Fife. I'm sending you my light and my love. Thank you so much for joining me live. I appreciate you. Have a very good night and join me again tomorrow. Maybe not so late. maybe a little bit earlier than 10 o'clock or 10:30. And I will do the summary and conclusions for this amazing book by Dr. Deepak Chopra, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Hi, Edwin. Nice to see you. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just finishing. I'm just leaving. Nice to see you. Okay, sending lots of love. Be safe. See you tomorrow, and we'll do the final summing up. Okay, bye.